Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
104.7 The Cave. Mike the Intern on the phone with Ned Reynolds. We are snowed out today, but you ain't going to stop us from having a conversation about sports. Yesterday we talked about how it was college signing day, and how did the colleges across the country do, Ned?
General thought is that Texas A&M had the best of the recruiting. They had five-star recruits added to their team. That's pretty good. Of course, Alabama and Georgia, they're right there. Missouri was thought to be in the top 15. Arkansas also had recruiting, but it's the Aggies at Texas A&M who gets the nod. Does that mean they're going to win all their games? Well, we'll find out. But they did have a pretty doggone good recruiting class.
Locally, how did KU, Mizzou do? They do okay?
Yeah, Mizzou very well. KU is getting a little bit better. The Missouri State Bears, pretty good. Considering the two signing periods, the one in December and the one yesterday, the Bears added 20 new players. 12 of them signed yesterday, and that's pretty good in and of itself. So new blood coming in with the maroon and white. See what happens.
Well, that's good to hear, and you think I'm hoping that the new coach is probably helping us do a little bit better recruiting on the MSU side of things. Is that what's happening here?
Oh, I think it's a whole lot better recruiting. Yeah, team's record shows that.
That's awesome. Well, good to hear, man. I'm glad. It's a very exciting time for those kids, figuring out where they're going to go to school, and that just keeps the wheel rolling because we're getting closer and closer to college football, which is a great thing. So there's been some, rumblings. First you had the lawsuit in Florida, the coach unhappy with the way he was treated, and then you hear rumblings of possibly coaches in the NFL throwing games for better draft picks. Your thoughts on this, sir?
Well, the two are tied together. Ever since Brian Flores came out with this lawsuit to the NFL, now other coaches are getting involved. And this time it's Hugh Jackson. Now, Jackson is a very highly respected coach. He was the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, but he alleges, and he didn't come right out and say it specifically, but he hinted that the Browns asked him to tank games. Well, I don't see how you're going to prove that. The Browns say that's a lot of rubbish. That didn't happen. And his overall aggregate record in his 2 years as coach really doesn't lend to his credibility. 3 wins, 36 losses, and 1 tie. It almost looks as though he's trying to gain something from the lawsuit that Brian Flores has. But all that will be adjudicated in the courts. We'll find out what happens.
Well, I can tell you right now, the NFL does not like that at all. If that's the case, and it's true, it's going to be interesting to see the NFL's response if it is true.
Well, if it is true, then there's a big scandal going on, believe me.
Yeah.
Big one.
Very, very, very big one. Luckily for the Missouri State Bears basketball team, they left a day early because they had a game in Carbondale. How'd they fare last night?
Well, that extra day helped them out because they won big. The Bears 69, Southern Illinois 54. That's a very big win. The Bears are now 17-7 overall, 8-3 in the Missouri Valley Conference. Gage Prim and Isaiah Mosley each had 22 points. The Bears shot lights out, including 64% in the second half, and that is big. So it's a very nice win, and the Bears sweep their regular season series from Southern Illinois.
Love to hear that. 64%. I don't think there's anything in my life that I do 64% of the time right. So that's awesome. Go Bears. I know it's hard to think about right now, looking outside your window and thinking about hitting golf balls, but the pro golf tournament continues this week. Where are they going to be at, Ned?
They will be at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am out on the Monterey Peninsula in California. This is the old Crosby Clam Bake that Bing Crosby used to host many years ago when he passed away in the late 70s. Then it went over into corporate sponsorship. It's a big deal. Many of the celebrities play in this thing. Of course, all the big names. There are a few pro players, however, who have opted for the Dubai Desert Tournament, but it's still a terrific field. All begins today. They'll play on 4 courses in the Monterey Peninsula. Pebble Beach is one of the most beautiful golf courses in the world, and that's where they're playing this one this weekend.
Going to be a blast and probably help us have some warmer thoughts while we're all freezing our butts off here in Missouri. Yesterday we talked about the interesting race they're doing in LA at the Coliseum. I kind of made reference it'd be no different than doing it here in Springfield. And you said, yeah, like the fairgrounds, it's pretty much the same. How big is that track going to actually be in the Coliseum?
When they put it down and they have finished it within the confines of the Coliseum, it's going to be a quarter of a mile. So this is quite literally short track racing. This is the Busch Clash. It is an exhibition race. It's an all-star exhibition race, but it's the annual prelude to the Daytona 500, and it's the beginning of Speed Week. Normally, it's at the Daytona International Speedway. With the Super Bowl in Los Angeles, the folks out there decided, hey, why not give this a little preview? So it's a short track course in the Coliseum. They're expecting maybe 60 to 70,000 fans to be in there, and it should be very interesting. Now, most if not all of these drivers began their careers driving short tracks, so it'll be a return to the old days, but it'll also be a lot of fun. The race itself will be late Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and then, of course, it's a two-day event because you have the heat races and the hot laps and all of that occurs with the NASCAR circuit.
A lot of fun, and definitely a very cool thing to watch if you're into racing, because these guys are just going to gun it and be turning their wheel at the same time with the track that short. Ned, you be extra safe today, and hopefully I'll see you in the studio tomorrow, man.